Pray for the youths, cheer for the youths, care for the youths. Yeah, don't mistreat the youths. Take care of our youths. Educate them and show them the way to grow. And let them know, yeah, the youths is the future.
Welcome to another exciting Teen Scene show. Teen Scene is a National Family Planning Board's magazine program produced by young people for young people. And our topic for today is entitled Counseling Teens, More Than Just Giving Advice. There are many misconceptions about counseling. For example, some people think it's something you need when you start to act strange or start behaving badly. But counseling is much more than that. And we have invited one of Jamaica's most eminent psychiatrists to help us have a better understanding of counseling, especially as it relates to young people. As usual, we have entertainment and a lot more. Please, stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is a Teen Scene program created by the National Family Planning Board for young people. And today's topic is counseling teens, more than just giving advice. We now join Dr. Aggrey Irons, who will tell us more about what counseling is and help us to clarify the link between sexual values, teen behavior, and counseling.
Dr. Irons, what is meant by counseling?
Counseling is both an art and a science at the same time. If you know the definition of health, which is a state of spiritual, mental, physical well-being, counseling is a way of channeling health from one person to the next through verbal and non-verbal communication. That simply means that in a counseling situation, it is assumed that the counselor, the person who is actually imparting the knowledge and the exchange, has health to offer the counselee. So it means that a counselor has a responsibility to make himself or herself as healthy as possible, so that in passing on the health, whether through advice or precept or whatever technique, his own health does not suffer at the same time.
Values are beliefs, standards to which we assign importance. Now, Dr. Irons, clarify for us the link between sexual values, teen behavior, and counseling.
That's a big question. You defined values for me by saying that they're a system of beliefs and so on. But more to values than that is the fact that they are basic to how human beings relate to each other. If we didn't have a shared value of driving on the left, then we'd be in a serious trouble, eh? Nobody puts a no smoking sign in a church, but people know that they must not smoke. And that is because values sometimes, even if unstated, are shared broadly among various members of society. Now, when it comes to what you call sexual values, when you put the keyword sexual with values and then attach young people, you mix in a soup or a porridge there that can be very spicy, because where do young people get their sexual values from? Are they the values of the society, or are they the evolving new values that teenagers have and young people have and want to explore and so on? So there's always going to be a clash of values whenever you talk about young people's sexual values and so on. And what happens is that nowadays people are discovering that sometimes the best people to counsel young people about sexual values are other young people, you know what I mean? So if that is so, then peer counseling is one of the ways of helping young people to come out with these values and to solidify them. But there must also be the sharing of Adult values, I would suppose, values that have to do with the long term. So as far as values, counseling, sexual values on young people are concerned, it must be a shared experience. And the rule is that any question that a young person asks, you must make sure you have the answer. Even if you don't have to answer more than you're asked, make sure you have the minimum that they need.
Teen Scene will be right back.
Hi, welcome to the Registry Department of the National Family Planning Board. My name is Letty and you're watching Teen Scene. Do enjoy.
At the National Family Planning Board, our counselor offers private and confidential counseling on issues and concerns that relate to sexual responsibility, your reproductive health, contraceptive choices, sexually transmitted infections, parenting, and reproductive health referrals. Call the Marge Roper Counselor at the National Family Planning Board, 968-1619. Email her at margeropernurse@jnfbb.org. Write or visit her at 5 Sylvan Avenue, Kingston 5. A message from the National Family Planning Board.
See, I protect his children, keep them from falling. Mighty crowd, mighty crowd, they're wishing for me to fall. Good job. Gonna make me stronger. They're wishing for me to fall. Good job. Gonna make me higher. You will never see me by the street side begging bread. Stop blessing with a roof over my head. Just keep focus, the better is ahead. The burger stronger. They act as if like they don't really know me. That people little love them with a tongue. But as the days go by, many times they try. They're wishing for me to fall. Good job, gonna rise me higher. They're wishing for me to fall. Good job, gonna make me stronger.
Welcome back. Today's topic is counseling teens, more than just giving advice. And Dr. Aggrey Irons, noted psychiatrist, has been helping us to have a better understanding of counseling. Let's rejoin him as he now shares with us some of the common problems he has encountered while counseling teenagers, especially regarding their sexual and reproductive health. He also shares with us information on how a parent should approach counseling his or her teenage child. Young people, listen keenly and check if what Dr. Irons is suggesting would work for you. And parents, we advise you also to listen keenly to this information as it can be of great help to you.
Dr. Irons, what are some of the common problems you have encountered while counseling teenagers, especially regarding their sexual and reproductive health?
Some people have the view that sex is only all about reproduction, when that is not so. The things in life that God has made pleasurable are the things that are good for us, like eating and sleeping and sex. And the only thing is we shouldn't eat in bed because of the ants. That's correct, and other things, unless, but then we'll get onto that in a more adult and contemporary setting. But as far as sexual and reproductive health in young people is concerned, some of the common areas in which young people have issues has to do with when to begin, when to say yes, meaning, you know, when do I become sexually active? And of course, boys and girls have different attitudes towards the whole business of sex and sexuality. it comes back in the end to how they're socialized, in that because we live in a sort of homophobic society, young men are discouraged from spending time in each other's company sexually, okay? And are encouraged to spend time chasing women, whereas women are told that they must keep as far away from young men as possible, which presents a dilemma, because you're going to find that a few young girls who are sexually adventurous are going to end up entertaining more than one young man at a time, and getting reputations and so on. And I think that young fellas have to be counseled that it does not mean you're homosexual if you like to spend time with your male friends, if you like to play football, if you find that you're a teenager and you're not running down girls, it doesn't mean that ultimately you're going to be gay. A lot of Jamaican young men, you have to counsel them about these fears of gay behavior. It's something that people don't talk about a lot, but also too, there are actually young people who have sexual identity problems. Again, young men who some of whom end up being gay, who have issues with their parents, and especially their perception that their fathers aren't around and their fathers don't love them. You'd be surprised how many young Jamaican men have serious issues with dealing with their sexual identity. Back to the girls now, they have problems with the ambivalence towards sexual activity. The way they're socialized, a lot of young women are in conflict in that they are literally taught that their sexual stroke reproductive behavior is a high-priced commodity which is traded for favors in their interactions with men. Now, if you're going to be blatant about it, when a woman trades her sexual behavior for favors, there's a name for that kind of behavior, and she's thought of as being professional. But mothers and aunts and so on who give their daughters similar advice don't see that they're making young girls have a conflict about how they deal with young men. Also too, there is the business of rape, incest, and abuse. I don't think you'd be surprised at how many young Jamaican girls are abused by older men and people who they know, and that requires a lot of counseling. Those are the main issues that we have to deal with. Venereal disease, AIDS, etc. We have enough, well, we have a lot of publicity and education going on in that area, in that young people seem to have a lot of information about sexually transmitted diseases, condoms, etc.
How would a parent approach counseling his or her teenager?
Well, I gave a hint in answering an earlier question as to the parental approach to counseling. There are two approaches. You get the information and you share it, or you are willing to share your teenager with somebody else, because no parent really is going to have all the answers. At a certain phase in a teenager's life, the phase of identity formation, the teenager is looking around him and looking around her to find the best in the world, and it doesn't always come from the parents. They're making choices so as to internalize those choices into their personality so that they will become the best that they can be. This is when parents have to do proper counseling. Now remember, you have to be sharing your health with your teenager, so you must have the answers ready. You must educate yourself. You must be prepared to be open and non-judgmental. And that's very difficult for a parent sometimes, because a parent usually tries to set about to make up the child in their image and likeness, which is not always a good thing. So what a parent should do is, yes, educate themselves, be prepared to answer every question. Do not answer questions that you're not asked. That is a basic rule. If you're not asked a question, then the child don't want to know from you, or perhaps is not ready to deal with those issues. Answer the questions that are asked honestly, and if you can't answer them, make sure you know somebody who can and who you trust your child with and who you can say, listen, I don't know too much about this, but let us go and talk to so and so. And it's always a good approach to use the plural pronoun when you're talking to spouses and when you're talking to teenagers. Teenagers like to hear about us and we, and they like to hear when you admit that it's not all about I and me and you, but about us. So those are the clues. And in counseling, people talk about talking to people. Counseling involves twice as much listening as it involves talking. The wisest of men keeps a closed mouth.
Welcome back to Teen Scene. I'm sure you have been getting helpful information from Dr. Aggrey Irons on counseling. Let's rejoin him for the final part of his reasoning with us. He now shares with us the difference between counseling men and women, and also some final advice to help you young people on how to manage your sexual urges. Urges that are a normal part of your physical and mental growth.
How would you compare counseling young women as against counseling young men?
I think that people think that there is a difference, but there is very, very little difference once the process starts. The only difficulty is in getting young men to accept that they need counseling. But once you get past the hurdle of acceptance, they are just as insightful and generative as young women. Young women more easily facilitate the counseling process. They more easily are looking for solutions in a verbal situation of sharing. Men are socialized to be so macho as to believe that they can solve all their problems themselves. But once you get past that hurdle, you find that you're dealing with a person and not a gender.
Finally, Dr. Irons, what advice would you give to teenagers as they grapple with the sexual urges that comes with the physical changes in their bodies, puberty?
Information, information, information. The more that a young person understands the science behind what is happening to their bodies, the more they'll understand how to handle and manage themselves. As I said before, counseling is both an art and a science. You have to be knowledge-based and you have to know what you're doing. The same thing applies to exchanging ideas about health and information. The more that you know, the better it is. They used to have a saying one time that what you don't know can't hurt you. But it is really the other way around. It is what you don't know that usually hurts you these days. And the more young people know about testosterone, the more they know about periods and what it causes and what causes periods, the more they know about fertility, the more they know about ovulation and the 14th day of the cycle, the more they know about menstruation and how to pronounce the word properly, the more that young men know about their feelings and how to deal with them, the more they know about dating, then the better things will be. So it's all about the knowledge base, I find. Get the knowledge and get the advice and put it together. You'll be all right.
I'm sure you have benefited immensely from the information on counseling that Dr. Irons has shared with us. Counseling allows for the exchange of information and discussing concerns related to a personal, individual situation. Peer counselors, as Dr. Irons pointed out, play a critical role in helping young people to get adequate responses to their questions and concerns. Now, do you know a peer counselor? Young people, it's great to have one as a friend, let me tell you. Parents, it might sound strange, but you can be a peer counselor to your teenage child. Get the right information to give them and help them to make appropriate choices, especially about their reproductive health. Now, Teen Scene will be right back.
Welcome to the NFPB Workshop, a journey through life, a showcase of all our services. Here's what we do.
Advocacy. Policy initiative.
Advocacy.
Yo, policy initiative.
Advocacy.
Policy initiative.
Yo, 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 yo.
NFPB create the environment, bring about health service improvement with the policy climate of government. NFPB, NFPB, NFPB create the environment, bring about health service improvement with the policy climate of government. NFPB, NFPB.
Advocacy.
Policy initiative.
Advocacy.
A policy initiative.
Advocacy.
A policy initiative.
Ow, 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 ow.
Yo, hey, NFPB service delivery.
NFPB service delivery.
Yo, providing information
On contraceptives like pills, condoms, a big thing that goes for NFPB. You know why? Yo, fatty where you have to say. Fatty where you have to say.
What is that something no?
Fatty where you have to say.
What's going on for say?
Fatty where you have to say. Listen, NFPB service hotline. Anything you want to know, call them. Don't call me. When me say? No call shit.
Fatty where you have to say.
Fatty where you have to say.
Fatty where you have to say.
Fatty says,
Fatty where you have to say.
Fatty where you have to say.
Fatty where you have to say.
Me say it already.
NFPB training. NFPB training. Yo, NFPB training. NFPB. Ensures that those who interact with reproductive healthcare clients have the knowledge and the skills necessary to deliver information. The training remains necessary for the range of healthcare providers,
Like nurses and pharmacists,
counselors,
and outreach
workers. Research, evaluation, and management information systems. Research, evaluation, and management information systems. No worries, no fuss, no stress, reproductive health just for you. Oh yes, analyzing your needs and things to implement a long-term system. Planning for two we do, use information we gather for you. Effective service delivery, we demonstrate it so you can do it. Research, evaluation, and management information systems. Research, evaluation, and management information systems.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, STATIN, is currently visiting select dwellings in communities across Jamaica on behalf of the NFPB. Interviewers will be asking questions on your knowledge and use of contraceptive methods and on matters concerning your sexual behavior. Let's hear from a representative from STATIN, who will tell us more about what the interviewers will be doing when they visit the communities.
Data collection began on the 2nd of June with over 100 interviewers in the field. These interviewers will be canvassing approximately 10,000 households across the 14 parishes. Our target population includes males 15 to 24 years and females 15 to 49 years of age. Each interview is expected to take between 5 and 45 minutes, depending on the characteristics of the household. The field exercise is expected to be completed by the end of August. We are appealing to respondents to be kind and cooperative to our interviewers. There are instances where an interviewer gets to a gated community and they cannot even pass the security guard. There are instances where interviewers see someone in a house and they call and their calls go unanswered. We know that these people know the importance of these surveys, and we are appealing to them to help our interviewers. There are times when parents or guardians refuse from allowing young adults to be interviewed in private. But again, we must stress confidentiality. Each interviewer has to sign to an oath of secrecy, and therefore all information we collect has to be kept strictly confidential. All our interviewers are equipped with identification cards, which they are required to produce when introducing themselves. So we are just appealing once more to the public to be cooperative with our interviewers. Remember, statistics is everybody's business.
Let's have some fun, eh?
I'm not ready for your kind of fun yet.
But everybody else is doing it.
But I'm not everybody else. I'm me, and I want to do well in school.
Well, you definitely get an A for attitude.
I plan to get an A in life, and then I think of your kind of fun.
So what am I to do in the meantime?
You'll survive.
Say no when you're not ready.
Welcome back. The family planning counselor at the National Family Planning Board's Marijuana Counseling Service counsels lots and lots of people every day in a private and confidential manner regarding their sexual and reproductive health concerns. Let's hear what she has to say about counseling.
Counselors are professionals or trained individuals who are available to assist persons who may have a personal issue, a social issue, or a psychological issue. As it relates to counselors being the same, now as you well know, we are all individuals and we have different personalities, and we may use different strategies. However, a counselor should be the same in the sense that he or she is not judgmental. They provide alternatives for clients. Counseling may mean different things to different persons, but overall counseling really is assisting someone, or a process where a counselor assists someone who may be having a social, a personal, or a psychological issue. This really means if someone is having problems as it relates to thoughts, feelings, or behavior, the counselor will help the person to find solutions or alternatives in order for that person to have a better or an enhanced life. If a teenager encounters a problem, it really depends on where she is and who is available. The first place that he or she should look for help is really in the home. The parents are the best persons to assist their children in dealing with issues that they are having. Outside of the home, the school has guidance counselors, and the guidance counselors, as we mentioned before, are trained professionals who are available to help them with the issues that they are having. If they don't have a guidance counselor on hand, then it is most suitable that they find someone who they can trust. So a suitable, trusted individual, maybe a family friend or someone who they believe can give them accurate information and help in dealing with the issues that they're having. Now, as the name suggests, peers are persons who are of the same age group as the persons who they are associated with. Now, peer counselors are trained in schools and sometimes in different organizations to assist their fellow peers in dealing with issues. They are mostly in schools, and they are equipped with the skills and techniques that they need to assist their peers. Now, they are not trained, they are not professionals as the guidance counselors, and so many issues they will not be able to deal with many of the issues. But what they provide is a service where they act as role models for their peers, and maybe the first person who someone may be able to approach, and they in turn, if they can't deal with the situation, would be required to refer to the guidance counselor. There are a number of places that teenagers can go in order to receive counseling, but it really depends on the issue that the teenager may be having. So organizations provide different counseling service related to maybe what their organization is about. The National Family Planning Board provides counseling, and we deal with all issues related to reproductive health, and outside of that we also try to assist with other issues, personal issues that individuals may have. If it is a case where we can't deal with those issues, then we would refer them to the organization who has the mandate to deal with that kind of issue.
Well, we have come to the end of another Teen Scene program, and I really hope you listened keenly and found the information on counseling helpful. But before we go, let's look back at some of the key points Dr. Irons made regarding counseling.
Counseling is a way of channeling health from one person to the next through verbal and non-verbal communication. At a certain phase in a teenager's life, the phase of identity formation, the teenager is looking around him and looking around her to find the best in the world, and it doesn't always come from the parents. They're making choices so as to internalize those choices into their personality so that they will become the best that they can be. This is when parents have to do proper counseling. Now remember, you have to be sharing your health with your teenager, so you must have the answers ready. Information, information, information. The more that a young person understands the science behind what is happening to their bodies, the more they'll understand how to handle and manage themselves. As I said before, counseling is both an art and a science. You have to be knowledge-based and you have to know what you're doing. The same thing applies to exchanging ideas about health and information. The more that you know, the better it is. They used to have a saying one time that what you don't know can't hurt you. But it is really the other way around. It is what you don't know that usually hurts you these days. You must educate yourself. You must be prepared to be open and non-judgmental. And that's very difficult for a parent sometimes, because a parent usually tries to set about to make up the child in their image and likeness, which is not always a good thing. So what a parent should do is, yes, educate themselves, be prepared to answer every question. Do not answer questions that you're not asked. That is a basic rule. If you're not asked a question, then the child don't want to know from you, or perhaps is not ready to deal with those issues.
We all need counseling to help us figure things out. Keep a close link with a counselor, especially from among your young peers. And remember, Marjopa is always there to counsel you in a private and confidential manner. You can call her at 968-1619 anytime during the day between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. She also has an advice column in the Friday Star each week, so check it out. I'm your host, Carrie for Teen Scene. See you next time. Bye.
Let's make the choice now and plan for two.
Me and my baby, you're my to-do-loots. I know you love me, boy,
And I know you love me too.
thanks to NFPB,
We're gonna see it through.
Toodaloots, me and you planning for two. NFPB showed us the right way to choose. Toodaloots, me and you planning for two. NFPB showed us the right way to choose. Despite our differences,
And despite the odds,
we made choice now.
And girl, we can't go wrong.
Me and my babies are precious, boy and girl.
I call him Mark,
I'll call her Jane.
we know our lives won't be the same. Thanks to NFPB, we're gonna be okay.
Oh, planning for two. NFBB showed us the right way to choose.